guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is very exciting because we've been getting this question a lot from people that actually live in California or other states, whether or not we think they should move to the south, and more specifically Charleston. So in today's video we thought we would do the differences between Los Angeles and like Orange County, so mainly just Southern California, and Charleston slash kind of the south. We definitely don't want to make generalizations in this video, even though it's easy to do. So sometimes when I refer to California, I know it's a giant state. Doug's actually from the forest in NorCal, and then I'm from like Southern California. So yeah, basically we're referring to Southern California because that's where we spent the last, well, my entire life, and Doug's like since he was 8 years or something. Yeah. So yeah, we thought we would share the differences between both places and basically give our take on how we're liking Charleston with the stuff that we have found. So we've lived here for how many months?
6 months.
Almost 6 months, and that is nowhere near long enough, but we still want to make the video because we have learned a lot of things, and even just like getting outside of our bubble of California, specifically SoCal, has enlightened us so much on just like different people in the world and different like cultures, even like state to state, different laws and stuff like that. So yeah, we thought we would share our experience.
People in the south, specifically Charleston, since that's our experience, are way nicer.
Like light years nicer.
Like, I can't explain how much nicer how they
even from where you are in NorCal.
Yeah, so we moved here and it was like 4 to 5 days in. We went to a little place for breakfast, and we asked the waitress, we were like, hey, where do you get your groceries?
Oh my gosh.
And she was like, give me a second. She sits down with a pen and paper.
Sits down at our table.
Sits down at our table with us. And there's other people in the restaurant. Yeah. And she's just like, so you get your meats from here, and then you get your veggies from here, but not the one on this road. And she spent like 15 minutes with us.
Like basically PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, walking through everything that we need to do.
The kindness level here is just like out of this world.
Yeah.
Like people will stop to help you, like put groceries in your car or anything. Like the smallest thing is just insane. People are obsessed with our baby here, and they never cared in LA. So yeah, people are definitely so nice. Another thing that I have to say that I've noticed that is a huge difference is Charleston specifically is called the Holy City. So I'm pretty sure that's because there's like the most churches,
a lot of churches
per capita. I think that's, I don't know if I'm saying that right. There's a mosquito.
Oh.
We'll get on to the bugs in a minute. But yeah, there are a lot of churches, like every single corner you'll see a church almost. So yeah, everybody goes to church here, which I like. We didn't really go to church in Los Angeles for a lot of different reasons, but we feel like out here everyone goes, and it's just like a part of the community, and we actually really like that. Doug's not super religious, but do you want to speak on that? It's
a lot different from LA because since it's so normal out here, it's like there's just such a big community for it that it's actually really welcoming. So
the biggest thing that people tell me, like that are back in SoCal, are how could you live there? The weather. And we haven't lived here for the summer yet. Like it's just now almost summer. It's
starting to get warm.
And it's super hot here and humid. But do you have anything to say about the weather so far?
Okay, so where we lived and then Charleston, literally just a direct line across.
Almost.
Like almost a direct line. So the only difference is humidity. So it doesn't get all that much hotter than SoCal. No, it doesn't. Because SoCal, like there were times in Orange County where we got up to like 108.
Yeah, 108.
Yeah. So Orange County and the south, like temperature wise, is relatively the same. Yeah, there's a lot of wind, hurricanes and stuff like that. But we haven't really experienced too much of that.
No.
Thunderstorms, not really like crazy thunderstorms. They just come out of nowhere, which is kind of funny.
The thunderstorms don't bother me. I like them.
But if you actually like look at it on a bigger scale compared to like Wisconsin or Florida or like Washington, they're really comparable weather.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
And I think the people in SoCal would not believe us in that because they think, oh my gosh, it's just hot as balls out there and it's like so humid. How could you deal?
It's so hot in California.
It gets super hot in SoCal. But the humidity, I honestly thought it would bother me more. And it's not summer, it's almost summer. But I can already just tell. I mean, I don't know, we'll let you guys know, but I can just tell it's not gonna bother me as much, and that is because I'm an indoor person. Like, I'm not the kind of girl that's gonna go look forward to like a hike on a Saturday, or that's literally all I can think about. Like kayaking, I would do it, but it's not like something I do all the time. I think if I was always outside, like fishing or hiking or swimming or whatever, the weather would be such a huge deal, but we are inside.
I took Annabelle to the park though, and I was like,
drenched.
Just drenched in sweat.
But our outside stints are like an hour or two. Like they're not all day or anything. So the weather truly doesn't affect us as much because we're inside all the time working. So there's that.
Out here, there are roundabouts everywhere.
Oh God, they throw me for a loop literally like, every single time. I don't know why.
Like not knowing which way to go.
I get all discombobulated.
She's like, I need to make a left here, and it's just like, well, you go around the roundabout. But anyways, so besides the roundabouts, there's like a quarter of the number of freeways.
Yeah.
And freeway exits.
There's no freeways. Are there any freeways in Charleston, or are they highways?
I would consider them highways because
they are not like 4-lane, no. 6-lane freeways or whatever, like the 405.
Speed limits here, I haven't seen a single speed limit over 65.
No.
Like at all. Not even.
Or 65.
What?
Usually they're like low.
Yeah. I haven't seen a single speed limit over like 55.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes 65. There's a minimum, which is kind of funny, a minimum of 45 miles an hour that you have to do. There's like a quarter the number of exits, which means, so like when we used to miss an exit in Southern California, you just get off on the next exit,
just turn around
literally 15 seconds later.
Yeah.
And then you turn around and go
back. Because there's like so many exits.
I took the wrong exit one time and had to go over an entire bridge.
Like 20 minutes detour.
Like all the way across.
Like if you miss an exit, you're screwed. Like that literally deters you, you know, 15, 30 minutes, like for reals. So
yeah, you get detoured.
That definitely frustrates me, but you don't need to go that. You don't really need to go anywhere that like long distance in Charleston. Everything's like so central, but that is a huge one. Okay, so this is something we've talked about, the fast food industry. So a lot of you guys used to watch our vlogs, like back when we lived in California. Doug and I ate fast food once a week, McDonald's, Taco Bell, Del Taco. We loved it. It was like cheap and yummy to us. And I always got comments being like, how do you eat that? It's just so disgusting. And I'd be like, how do you not like Crunchwrap Supremes? Like they're so bomb.
Crunchwrap Supreme.
Or like a number 2 from the McDonald's menu. Like I loved it.
Which is, by the way, it used to be a double cheeseburger or two cheeseburger combo.
Yeah, because I'm a fatty. So then I like never understood why anyone said that. Then we moved to the South and I get it. I am almost positive anyone that's left a comment like that is from maybe, I don't know if it's like that in the Midwest, but like the South for sure. Because the fast food industry out here, besides Chick-fil-A, sucks. Like I firmly believe that.
We haven't had any Taco Bell yet.
Okay, do you want to talk about that? It's so slow. I mean, the fast food industry where we're from, or where we were from, it's so fast.
Let me put it this way.
Like literally.
People take time out of their day to put reviews up on Google Reviews or on Yelp for fast food places.
And we look at them because we're
like it's all 1 stars.
The food is not even the same looking food.
No, it's crazy.
We ordered Pizza Hut and the pizza, I wish I could have taken a picture.
We should have.
It was a completely different pizza, you guys. It was just so bad. And like even the McDonald's here is not at all the same. And you know, I'm sure there are some fast food workers that work in the South that watch my channel, and this might not be you, but a lot of our experience is just that they seem to hate their jobs out here.
That's just our experience. Like, it's just been like,
they just don't, it just seems like they don't want to serve you. They're borderline rude. And in SoCal, they're like the nicest and they're quick and efficient. So that is interesting, and now we understand why everybody eats Chick-fil-A out here.
Because Chick-fil-A is super nice and
the
quick.
nicest service. The food is always the same.
I still gotta say the food's the same, but it's still not In-N-Out.
Oh no, and a lot of you guys are like, you should try Chick-fil-A. We had it in LA, like it's everywhere in SoCal. So the next thing is also, we kind of touched on it, but it is so, like everyone is so slow here. Oh my God. And Doug and I, being Californians, not all Californians are like this, but all my friends are, and my parents are, impatient as all heck.
We went to Trader Joe's, and the like cashier person or the checker person is just BSing with this random
telling
person,
her life story to the lady in front of us.
about how she like got hired at Trader Joe's,
and we're just like,
and what it's like to work there.
This happens almost every time.
Her food is checked. Her change is in her hand. She just hasn't given it to her, and she's just talking. The other person's like, like talking to her. And I just want to kick them in the face.
Okay.
And
see, this is aggression. They're not aggressive out here.
Let me check out my food so I can go home.
They're not aggressive out here.
Let me be productive.
But yeah, they are so slow here, everybody. And it's just like forced us to like zen out. I mean,
I need to slow down my speech.
Doug is pretty slow. I always was like,
everything.
oh my god, Doug, pick up the pace. Like, I was more impatient than him, but he's like light speed ahead of the people in Charleston. The other thing about driving is I feel like the people out here don't abide. Like, they don't know the laws of drive. Like, did they take their permit test? Like, I don't know.
I'm thinking about when people make lefts on a red light from like a green and a straight light.
Oh, it happens every time we go out, you guys. Or they just like
run red lights all the time. Or people like just make U-turns in the middle of the road, or they cross over center dividers.
Yeah.
Like they do so many things.
So many crazy things. Like if you did that in LA, you get in a wreck.
Yeah, like instantly in a wreck.
There's just too many cars.
Yeah, and I think out here it has to do with either like just the lack of cars that are out here.
Yeah.
The lack of maybe like law enforcement, because there's a cop on every corner in LA.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of cops out here.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they're hidden or they're just different cars, but yeah. I mean, I've actually experienced where you're like pulling up at like a four-way stop and it's clearly the other person's turn and they're like, no, you go. And I'm like, but it's your turn. Like, I know you're trying to be nice, but you gotta abide by the laws. Like, if everyone was just like, go ahead, it'd be confusing. That happens almost every time I go out. Like, it's so bizarre. I'm like, I don't know. So I think that's funny. The wildlife.
Yo, we showed up, saw alligator signs, laughed about them.
We were like, okay, in
like,
a tiny pond. Like there'll be like a pond in the middle of like houses and there'll be an alligator sign and we're just like,
well, what?
There's no
I was
alligators
taking pictures in front of it and when we first came here with Annabelle. And then 2 weeks later, we're at a friend's house and there's an alligator. Just like, sitting on the lawn.
At a random community pond.
Sunbathing on grass.
And a lot of people actually comment like, that would freak me out, how could you live there? But it's not like they're dinosaurs. Like they're not going to charge you unless you provoke them, and they're not so close to you.
I'm not like just sitting here
that they're
and,
like right there
keeping my head on a swivel for a gator.
No. Well, there's no ponds around us, but you never know. Apparently they get moved by the city and they also travel through drain pipes. That's what I've heard.
Through the sewage.
So the alligators do not affect us like in any way. Like I don't know how it is in Florida. I've heard crazy things, but out here I don't think they do. Besides the gators, like the snakes are different, the crazy caterpillars, just different bugs. Obviously we're getting eaten alive right now, by the way. Worst place to film.
Destroyed.
That's why we keep itching our legs.
That's my fault.
But do you want to speak on the bugs? Because I mean, that's like a huge thing for Californians. They're like, how could you live there? All the bugs, the mosquitoes, blah blah blah.
Alright, so
the Southerners don't even think about them, like I swear.
If you're from LA, you're probably not used to it. Like in NorCal, I had mosquitoes and caterpillars and moths and things like that. But since being in LA, I've gotten used to like just asphalt.
There's literally ants.
And like no...
You might see a fly.
Yeah. You might see a fly. But that fly's gonna hit you for like a tax, like because you're using its area of space.
But for reals, let me just say, the Southerners always laugh because they're like, well, you must have bugs. I haven't been bitten by a mosquito in Orange County or LA, I would say 8 to 10 years. I don't remember a bug bite until I go to the forest. Yeah. Because there's forests in SoCal. But yeah, I haven't been bitten.
But out here, you need bug spray all the time. You can't go out after dusk. Stay away from sitting water.
It's definitely a more high maintenance place. Not in the winter. The winter there's nothing.
Yeah. I take my trash out and I just boom, spider webs everywhere.
Yeah, so it's something you get used to. 6 minutes later,
spider webs again.
But again, it's not something that I would move away just because of that.
I punched a June bug once. Like it wasn't even, I'm pretty sure it was a fly, like just a southern fly that was just big and slow. And it came at me and I jabbed it.
We don't even know what.
And it just looked at me funny and then took off. Yeah.
But let me just say, if you guys are considering moving, I wouldn't say the bugs are like the thing you need to worry about. No. They're a lot scarier than they actually are. Like you get used to it. All the locals here, they just get their lawn sprayed. Like if you spray like frequently, they're not gonna bother you at all. You're not gonna see
people are always like, all the palmetto bugs out here. Knock on wood.
You can look that bug up if
we haven't seen a single one.
We haven't seen one. Like it's not as bad.
We got our house sprayed, so.
So the other thing that is like a huge just difference between SoCal and Charleston specifically, I don't know how the rest of the South is, but I'm pretty sure the majority of the South is like this. I don't know. But and that is diversity. And a lot of people actually commented before we moved here saying, well, Haley, if you're used to diversity, it's gonna be a huge cultural shock. And I was like, I mean, I didn't think anything of it because like you don't know. And where we grew up in LA and in NorCal, I mean, you were the minority in your town.
I was the minority. It was like mainly a Hispanic area, but it was still very diverse.
Very diverse,
yeah. I'm talking
and like... And this is NorCal.
Yeah. There aren't just like 2 or 3 races or anything like that.
No.
Like it's like a big, huge melting pot in NorCal, and especially in LA. LA is such a melting pot. Like we can go get so many different types of food, like all on the same block.
Yeah.
And like all the friends that you have and the people that you speak to, and
totally different backgrounds,
and who you learn from, like it's all totally different. Maybe because that's just like the location of it kind of just has it be that way.
Maybe it's just Charleston. We don't know. It could
just be just Charleston.
I don't think it is though. Not from the comments I received.
It's just to us, it's different that a big city. Well, I guess Charleston wouldn't be considered like a big city. Yeah. It's not like an LA, but still, it's still like a metropolitan area, and it's still just nowhere near as diverse.
No, my parents, where I grew up for like 25 years of my, or 23 years of my life, like one neighbor was Filipino, one neighbor was Chinese, like another one was, you know, European or whatever. Literally anything, like the whole globe was on my block. So it's just so interesting that when we came here, you know, we started to look around, get a touch of our surroundings. All our neighbors, besides like 2, are white. We go into like restaurants and everybody in the restaurant is white. And let me just say, that might just be where we live in Charleston.
When you live in an area where there's a high population of like a certain culture, like where we came from, it was the highest percentage of Japanese people in the nation, except like Hawaii. You're gonna get really good Japanese food there.
Yes.
There aren't as many Japanese people out here, so I miss the Japanese food.
Not just the Japanese, but any culture, like Indian or anything we used to eat. Like it's definitely different. Something that like I feel like made me a really well-rounded person, and maybe yourself, is that all our friends are different races for the most part. Like one of our best friends is Chinese. He brought us over to his house once. They had like a huge family party for 4th of July.
Dude, it was crazy. We ate crazy like
mangosteens,
like they were bomb.
Like I guess it's native to wherever they're from. And we had like, we were just immersed in the culture, and like those experiences growing up, like you'll never forget. And I don't think you necessarily will get them in an area like this.
But like it might just be where we live.
Yeah, it might just be. Let us know in the comments, but that is something that really, I mean, we miss that.
Yeah, being in the South, laws are a little bit different here. Coming from California.
No helmet law.
Okay.
On the motorcycle.
Some of the laws that wig me out. No helmet law. Like you don't have to wear a helmet while you're riding a motorcycle.
It's insane.
That's
I don't know
wild.
why you do that.
I don't know what's up with that. No smog laws. So like there's no restriction on your cars. There's no vehicle inspection that has to be on your cars. That is crazy to me.
That is crazy.
Although it's been here longer, it's less restrictive. South Carolina is a shall issue state, which means I could just like walk in and buy a gun if I wanted to.
Yep.
California, I have to wait a really long time. Haley can't give me a gun. Haley's dad can't give me a gun. There's like a lot of different rules that are out there. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Like when you do, California's, I'm gonna be honest, California's the worst out of all of them.
Oh yeah.
Like I have to get my
it's always like 49 state legal.
I have to get my 24-year-old car checked for emissions.
Yeah.
And it's like just as old as I am. It's like, come on. But yeah, anyways, so the laws out here, there are a lot of different laws that you guys should look into if you're thinking about moving from California to the South, or specifically South Carolina. But if you're going the other way around from South Carolina to California, just be ready.
Oh yeah.
Just be ready.
The fashion out here is just ridiculous. I love it. Doug likes it.
I do.
He's not in, I mean, he's wearing a shirt from Walmart, it's $3, but he's not really into so much of the fashion because he's just not into it. But everyone here, man or woman, they wear really bright colors. They're always dapper, the men. They wear like crazy prints, and I love that. Like in LA, I feel like people are they're just part of fashion groups. Like if you're boho and you live in Venice, like you're gonna be wearing Birkenstocks and gross hair. I know that's totally a stereotype, but if you go to Venice, most of the people look like that, the girls and stuff, and the guys. If you live in Orange County, you're gonna be more like proper. But out here, everyone seems to kind of like just embrace like a lot of color and like vibrancy. You can see that through the homes and through their outfits, and I love it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So the other big thing is that Charleston is known for being the lowland?
No, low country.
Low country. Well, it's a lowland, but there are literally no hills or mountains, super flat. Yeah. And that isn't something that like should deter anybody, but the one thing I have to say about SoCal is that you get mountains, you get desert, you get beach, you get any kind of climate pretty much-ish. And out here, it's like you kind of have to fly, which is fine.
Or drive,
like a couple, like a good couple hours. So that is one thing to consider if you love going to the mountains or if you love going to the desert.
Yeah.
You have to fly pretty much.
It is like a marshland state out here. pretty crazy.
So that is pretty much it for our little, I wouldn't say it pros and cons.
No.
We really like it here, and at first, I'm gonna be totally honest, at first I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't know if this is the right place. Doug just doesn't care, he'll live anywhere. But I was like, I don't know if this is the right place. You know, there's the diversity is not there, and what else? I think that's all I really thought.
It definitely was a shock at first. It's really hard just not to compare two places. The only two places
I'm gonna continue to do it because I know
it's gonna keep happening.
Yeah, I know that that's just a part of life. Like anyone that has actually moved like out of their state, you guys like email me or DM me saying that you did it for like 2 or 3 years, and to like totally take away everything you know and replace it with something just opposite, it's like totally life-changing. I think that like our like opinion of Charleston changes almost every month or every season.
It's like every day.
Every day. So I think that this video will be completely different to maybe something we do in 6 months. So yeah, we'll keep you guys updated. As
like a little game, we're gonna do our best. If you guys in the comments just put a question that we can answer with either Charleston or LA.
Can you give an example?
So for example, you'd be like, which city has better weather? And we would put Charleston or LA. Obviously LA. And then you'd say, okay, well, which one has better gas types? Well, Charleston, because you guys have 93 here and we only have 91.
I don't even know that. I'd be like, question mark?
So if you guys can put as many of those in the comments as you can, I will try to go through and we'll both go try to through and answer them. And I think it would be hilarious to like draw some conclusions from that.
Yeah.
And try to put them together. So
thank you guys so much for watching today's little chit chat video. We don't have coffee with us, but that's because it's super hot outside. It is. Sure, we have like 20 bug bites on our legs.
We got another one right there.
So yeah, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you in our next one. Bye guys.
All right, let's get out of here.